Welcome, everybody, to Next Gen Leadership, brought to you by Momentum Builder. I'm your host, Jimmy Ryan, and today this is part of a four-part series. Last week was an intro to Craig Davis. We're talking about how business planning doesn't work and what you need to do to effectively get a good business plan. What does it say? Make shift happen. That's exactly right. And you said something that I've not ever heard before that I think that a lot of people, we all loved it. It's the 10,000 foot view of vision and the 1,000 foot view of strategy, and then the sea level view of execution. And we're going to dive deeper into each one of these topics over the next 2 weeks. Well, right now we're going to focus on vision. Next week, strategy. The week after that is execution. And this is for sales managers, branch managers, leaders, team leaders, or people that aspire to be those, take those positions on and just get all around better at it. And we welcome Craig Davis. He's a coach to some of the greatest people in the mortgage industry. And Gino Fronte, I don't know, how would I even describe you, bro? You wear a lot of hats. You're the king dude at,
I don't know. It could be anything.
king dude at PRMG, regional manager, branch manager, and your results show that you are a great leader. And we're going to focus today on vision. And with that, Craig, let's start it off.
I love it. Thanks for having me back.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, I love the subject, right? Like, I'm passionate about this stuff. And like, I want to say something real quick too. Again, leadership. I don't care what your job role or your title is. If you are an originator, if you're in operations, branch manager, it doesn't matter. Leadership is a behavior, not a title. And it's really important because the greatest originators who are in a sales role, they are great because they are leaders. They're leading their clients. They're leading their team. They're leading their referral partners. They're leading their business. So in everything we're talking about vision. We're talking about this is applicable to anybody who wants to support and drive their business forward, So I just it's very important that we're looking through a leadership lens. So I just want to sort of emphasize that.
I mean, leadership is everything, right, Craig? I mean, ultimately, if you're a parent, it's just when you say leadership, it's really demonstrating to people that you're willing to do what you're asking them to do. I mean, that's really the definition of leadership, right? Hey, I'm asking you to do this, A, because I know you're capable, and B, because that's what the team needs you to do. Like, that's what we're trying to bring with leaders. And when I look at the transition from solo LO to LO with the team, that's one of the hardest transitions to make, is from that step, because you could just grind it out yourself and you're processing everything and you're doing it all, but there reaches a point where you have no scale and you say, I need a team. And boy, does everything change once you have a team.
Or going from great originator to branch manager. And most branch managers came from being originators, the majority. But
that's usually team. It's usually branch manager, team lead, branch. It's originator, team lead, branch manager, right?
And that big gap in our industry, which is management and leadership training, coaching, support. That's why that is exactly where I'm focused with my ideal client base is, in that branch manager, originator, executive segment around how do we lead, drive our business forward, et cetera. So let's get into it. So, all right. So last week we were talking about, well, first of all, we're talking about why business plans just don't work. And I just, again, I just want to hammer this point again. We are in a shift in business, and this isn't just around mortgage, our society, our lives. This is a shifting business. This is a shifting society, economy, everything else. So my point here is, look, maybe what got us here isn't going to get us there. And a lot of our old practices, look, I get it. It doesn't mean we don't still do our core competencies and these fundamentals. But the point is, there might be new innovative ways. Where is that?
I'll give you an example, Craig. I mean, the old style of hardcore closers, always be closing, boiler room, hit the phones, never take no for an answer. Like, that stuff's not working. It's just not working. And
the consumer has shifted.
It's because the world's different, right?
The world is different.
The world
so we
is
have
different.
to think differently.
Yeah. So we have to think and do different. And so now that we identified that, because that's important, right? Identify that the past is behind you and the future is ahead of you. How do you focus on the future and make sure that you're pointed in the right direction?
Bingo. And this is that right there in of itself, Gino, is why business plans don't work. And remember when I said last week, and I'll say it again, how many times in our career it's December and our boss says, everyone, what's your business plan? So we write out our business plan, whatever that is. And that's the last time we look at it. And your boss doesn't do anything with it, right? We talk about it. I used to have us present to each other with it. And that was really good. We got great ideas, gave us inspiration. That was a really good exercise. But then that was it. So that is not going to get us moving forward. That is an acute response to a question. We want to be in a flow state. So therefore, I say, forget the business plan. Instead, we need to architect your business. Architect your business so we have clarity. We know how to execute at scale. Remember when I was talking about agility, that's horizontal on top of everything. So we know how to navigate and dive right into each key business pillar. So that really is the fundamental root of how do we architect our business so we can be in a flow with clarity, always in forward motion, not this start, stop, reinvent, start again. Now I want to do this. No.
I think part of that is, and I don't know if it's a direct analogy or correlation, but I teach people a lot about investing in real estate. That's one of the things I've been a real estate investor for 22 years. So I made plenty of mistakes. And one thing I say about real estate is it's a get rich slow investment. And I feel like our businesses should be the same, but people are looking for get rich quick results. And so they're chasing that get rich quick, chasing that get rich quick. And they're not really making the progress they could if they actually had a nice methodical plan that they were executing over 3, 5, 7 years. I mean, that's really what it takes in the mortgage business is years. It doesn't take days. Nobody built, listen, Matt Ishbia didn't build UWM in a day. It may seem like an overnight success. Starbucks may seem like an overnight success, but these are people's passion projects for 20 years before they took off, or 15 years before they took off. So I would like to say that if you are building something, it's not necessarily 1 year at a time. And we can start the conversation about vision with this is I like to start 10 years out.
Thanks, Travis.
So, Craig, we were just talking about this just before we started talking. It's about discipline over a long period of time. And I think when you're younger, it's like, hey, I didn't drink for a week, great. Okay, now I didn't drink for a month. But I mean, Gino, you're going a year, but it's that discipline of
fill out the little thing at the doctor's thing. It says, how often do you drink? Never. For the first time ever.
But see, that requires a long-term vision and the discipline to see it through. And it's not about, just like you said, start, stop. That's exhausting. You'll burn out, and it's a constantly changing vision. And if you lead a team, that's exhausting to them too. So you have to be crystal clear and have that clarity of where you're going. So how do we do that, Craig?
Yeah, and bingo. And again, and this conversation, we're talking about long, big vision. We also got to connect our short vision along the way, because we do need success and wins along the way. But that all comes down into our definition of what success is. So again, in reflection, we're talking about architecting your business. So the first thing everybody to think about is, what are your key business pillars? Those are your verticals that support and drive your business forward. What are the things that have to be done? It could be marketing, prospecting. What's your client engagement? Maybe you're trying to open up new opportunity channels. Do you want to do events, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to get very clear on what those key business verticals are. So, and I just said clear. So now we have clarity. So now within those key business verticals, okay, now what's our vision? So again, we can have big vision. Okay, I am driving, I want to build the biggest, baddest branch in my area, and I'm going to recruit and do all the different things. Okay, great. We can have small vision. Okay, I want to lift up a marketing vertical because I want to grow my audience wider and deeper. So vision doesn't have to be this evergreen, huge, monumental vision. It can be, but it can also be small, timely, and unique to that business pillar or whatever you have going on. But it is important. And Jimmy, you said it earlier. When we're thinking vision, everybody, 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet. We don't need to answer all the questions. We are just, think of your vision like a magnet to your compass. That's really what your vision is. It's just to help you stay in that true north, wherever we're going. And by the way, if it's a magnet to your compass, well, sometimes you're going to have shift. You're going to have changes. You're going to have course corrections. And Gino, to your point earlier, because I'm a very big believer in innovation, vision, and let me peel this back and explain what I'm getting at here. So, invention is the idea itself, right? So we can invent the idea, but that's where we start, stop, because we're always inventing something. Now, innovation, that happens in the perseverance of your idea. And so that's where I am helping bridge with my clients, because once we establish these business pillars, now we're going to continue persevering within those business pillars. And that vision is going to allow us to continue persevering. We may not even know all the answers of how we're going to get there, but that perseverance facilitates innovation, growth, and so much more. Because again, we don't know what door opens up what door, what opens up what door, and we'll never go through those unless we continue persevering. And Gino, again, to your point earlier, a lot of times people give up. They're 95% there, and that's where people give up. So that's what we don't want to do. That's the fundamental flaw in business plans, the start, stop, start, stop. Recruiting is a perfect example. That is an add-on to many people's, jobs. As a branch manager, you have 1,000 things you got to do, and now I got to recruit. I was constantly in this. I was constantly starting to recruit, but instead I should have been just leading growth at a constant nature, persevering constantly. So that's why I coach these things now, right? Because I understand, because that was part of my flaw in some of the aspects of my leadership and management. So
I think if you look at what's happened, you bring up recruiting, it's a consolidation of roles because of where we are in the industry. Don't let the market dictate your actions and thoughts, but take the market into consideration. And those are the parts of the perseverance, right? So don't just focus on I was this and now I can't do that anymore. That'll just get you down. Right. So if you're focused on where you're going, then you're like, so we took some steps backwards, and that's okay. We took a wrong turn. That's okay. Or the market took a wrong turn for us. How do we get back to where we were, the path we were on, or the path we want to be on, right? So as you mentioned, Craig, is course correction. I think that's super important. It's like, especially like, and I'll just relate it to diet, since diet's such a thing that requires that. Like, you could be spot on for 10, 12 days, and then you show up somewhere and they have your favorite meal and you just go nuts. And of course you feel terrible the next day. You're super disappointed in yourself. Well, it's okay. Just then now go on another 15, 20-day streak of good things. So you just have to be able to get over it and have a very short pity party when things happen that are outside of your control. Drift
happens.
Yeah.
Again, why we have a magnet to our compass. So when we do drift, we come right back to where we need, and the vision helps establish what that magnet is. So vision, 10,000 feet, like we're talking about. All right. Where are you going? Where are you going? Why? Why are you going there? What are you trying to have accomplished? What's the objective?
And wait, hold on. You don't mean I just want to become $100 million loan officer?
Overnight?
That's the one. I mean, that's real. That's real. $100 million loan officer is a thing.
Yep.
Totally real.
For me, $1 billion regional was a thing. Those are things, but is that vision or is that just goals? And so I think that's what I want to challenge is when you look at people that have been incredibly successful in life, and I mean like incredibly successful, the Elon Musks of the world, Richard Branson, all the things they say are seemingly impossible. So I believe that goal setting, and you've heard this before, that people that set goals fall short of their goals every time, but they get close. But I think the problem is you start with goals instead of start with vision. I think vision is the starting point, which is unattainable dreams or seemingly unattainable dreams. Then you can build goals just below that. And then you could pursue the goal. and you're on the route to the mission. Because you can't, like you mentioned earlier, Craig, you can't jump, you can't leapfrog it. You got to go through the doors one by one. But my biggest thing with vision is I think people set their goals way too small. They don't look far enough out. And I'll give an example for those of us that worked with Bill Dallas at some point in our lives. Half the shit he says sounded crazy. Well, the other half already came true.
Yeah.
So the stuff that he was saying that sounded crazy might come through in the next 5 or 10 years. Right. So visionaries, people that look far beyond where we're at, is something to take into consideration. So that's why I mentioned 10 years, I think, is a good outlook. Like, I want to be here. I want to be doing this. This is what I want in 10 years. And then you can work backwards on all the stuff that has to happen for you to get there.
Absolutely. And again, my role here isn't to question necessarily like how far your vision should be out or how big it should be. I just want to present the framework that vision is critically important and why. And as you're doing that, again, whether it's big and long, huge, or specific, small, and to the point, because I got to get this vertical lifted up and ongoing, and then I will recalibrate the next step in that vision. But I guarantee, though, even when we're going small, it is part of something bigger. So to your point, Gino, we have to understand just where we're going. Why does it matter? And then here's the other thing, especially for those in leadership and management who work with other people. Why should anyone care? Now, that's a tough question, especially when you're establishing vision that impacts other people. It's one thing if you're a lone wolf and I'm just doing this. Totally different if you're managing, leading a team. Why should they care? How does it impact their lives? Now, you may not answer all that inside the vision, but I want you thinking about it because it's going to be critically important when you start getting buy-in, how we communicate this. So there's a framework to this, and it's really critical. And I'm going to say this, and this is, I love this quote. Well, I love debunking this quote, right? You guys have always heard like hope is not a strategy. I'm here to say bullshit. Hope is absolutely a strategy, but it's not a tactic. It's not an execution. I'm not waiting around for it. My point is hope is absolutely strategy because leaders provide and give hope. They give hope to their clients, their referral partners, their team. And the way they do that is they begin with vision. Here's where we're going. Here's why it matters. Here's how it benefits you. Here's how the market just reacted. Here's how we're going to respond. We're going to be okay because we are going to go down this direction. That gives me hope. That is absolutely a strategy and it's critically important to strategy. But like I said, it's not a tactic. We don't sit back and rely that, okay, I'll be hopeful things are going to happen right.
Well, I think you just nailed it, right? So I think if we were to look this up in and I'm going to age myself, but in the Webster's Dictionary, if anybody remembers what that is.
Do you get it online now?
Yeah. I don't even, I just use Google now, or I don't even use Google anymore. I use ChatGPT. But when it comes to the word hope, it's almost like they're two different definitions, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's exactly what you're saying. Like, I have hope that we're on the right path. That's okay. I hope we're on the right path is not.
Yeah, good. That's a really good delineation there. That's really good. Yeah.
It's small, right? But
it's semantics. Yeah.
But it is important. I mean, you have to have hope. I mean, hope, I don't know if hope's even the right word, but you have to have confidence that you're doing the right thing. You know, and that if you do the right thing, less challenges will stand in the way of you overcoming the obstacles and meeting the vision.
Well, and let me give you go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, I was just going to say, we're not trained this, just like you said, when you go from sole person to leader or, team lead, branch manager, there's no like training for that. You kind of just get thrown into it. And that's why most people fail because they don't have any sort of direction. You're kind of just figuring out as you go. And I think you said it best too, Gino, is that like you basically said goals happen along the way as you pursue your vision, and you got to have the perseverance. And I want to reel us into to action items for number one. What are we asking ourselves when we are creating this vision? And then number two, when we're coaching our teams, what questions are we asking our teammates or the people that work for us? What questions are we asking to help them make sure that they're on that right path and have that confidence and clarity where they don't have to say, I hope I'm on the right way. No, I hope it pans out. And it's that little tiny difference. What questions do we ask? How do we do it?
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys an acronym. Well, here's the question. This is an old social media post I did a long time ago. And Gino, you might remember this from when I was, leading. What do cows have to do with leadership? Absolutely nothing other than the acronym I use is called VACA, and that is Spanish for cow.
Okay. Now tell us. Let me spell that here in the comments box.
VACA.
Yeah, I got it. I speak Spanish.
All right, so here's the thing. So again, vision, very important. Where are we going? Why does it matter? The tough question is,
why you made me hungry? All I could think about is steaks.
What's that?
You said cow, and all I could think about steaks.
So the hard question is, and you need to ask, like, okay, so as you're sort of establishing this, why does anybody care? Why should anybody care? Now, the reason why is because as we're establishing vision, well, it's also critically important. We have to be able to communicate this. Now, I'm going to go now into more of a leadership management standpoint. But again, I don't care if you're an originator. You want to go this direction. You have to manage up maybe to your branch manager. You got to get resources. You have to share your vision. You want to become a $100 million producer? Here's how we're going to get there. That's where strategy and execution comes in, right? But so when I would be in a leadership setting, when I completely rewrote our entire operational system earlier in my career, I couldn't just stop the operational machine and retune it and then start it again. I had to go into something. I had to disassemble it. I had to break it. And then I had to rebuild it unconventional to what everybody has always done. All the underwriters and the ops. This is how we've always done it. What's wrong with that? Whoa, don't change me, right? Everyone hates change. So this is what I did. After I built it and vision and all the things, and here's why it's going to work and make your life easier, I would sit in a room with everybody in that room together. It could be 10 people. It could be 20 people. Everybody, here's the vision. Here's where we're going. Here's why it matters. I'm going to retune the operational system because the things that care about is I want to close more loans faster, easier, and profitably. Does everybody agree with that? Yeah, we agree. Okay, great. So therefore, are you aligned with this vision? Vision, V, alignment, A. Are we aligned? Now I'm going around making eye contact with everybody in the room. There is a method to my madness. Okay, so everybody's aligned. Yeah. If you got any challenges, please raise your hand. Now's your opportunity. Okay. Oh, you have feedback. Okay, what's your feedback? Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, good. We got that resolved. So we're aligned. Great. Now, are we committed? Yeah, we're committed. We're not thinking about I have to change something I do in underwriting. We're thinking about, can this close more loans faster, easier, and profitably? Does it make my life better? That's the vision. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, so here's the vision. We're all aligned with it. Now we're committed. Okay, guess what? Now we're accountable. That's the acronym. Vision, alignment, commitment, accountability. Very important. Here's why. Because the accountability is to the process. So this is a very important fundamental belief. Lead people, manage process. So whatever that process is, and again, I don't just mean operations, but whatever that process is to execute on that vision, you develop accountability around that to the process. Now, as a leader, as a branch manager, I'm now focused on leading the people to help them execute on these things. It's no longer about, well, I just go to this page to get this document. I got to do this. No. It's not even about that anymore. So everybody's eyes are up. I retuned our operational system. I increased the velocity of our loan production by 4 business days, purely by process and breaking the old ways of how we did things and implementing new ways, which included, we're going to use this tech that you've never used before, and that's big and scary. And it was not big and scary anymore because it was completely aligned with the vision. And then everybody was accountable to the process. So there's the acronym. That's what cows have to do with great leadership.
Bro.
I mean, bro, I got to tell you, like, what you just described is what we all describe as buy-in. You got to have people's buy-in.
And
right?
This is how you get it.
You can't have people's buy-in if you don't tell the story, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a place to go, how can you have people follow you? I mean, that's just leadership 101. It really is.
Versus just being a boss. So old way, all right, guys, this is what we're doing. Get on board. Just deal with it. You know, like that's being a boss. What I'm talking about is being a leader. And again, leadership is a behavior, not a title. So if you're in origination, whatever your role is, and again, I'm going to continue emphasizing this. I want you looking at your business through a leadership lens. I want you thinking about how are you the CEO of your business? And look, CEOs report to boards of directors. Everybody reports to somebody. But how are you the CEO of your business? And when you look through that lens, you will reorient how you approach your business differently. Bigger, better, flow, good, in motion, forward. Again, we're going to architect this business. We're not just doing business plans. That shit don't work. We're going to architect your business so you are in flow. And then once we've done this architecture, we have vision, which we just talked about. We'll go into strategy next week and execution. Now, hey, our house is built, right? You cannot, like, messy room, messy mind. Now our house is built. Now we have clarity. So now, what are our goals? How are we innovating? How are we growing? Okay, we got to course correct. Okay, I've been running on this pillar. Oh, wait, that's changed. Okay, well, let's lift up a different pillar. It doesn't matter. The architecture is the same. Very easy to go in and just pull the different levers, fine tune. Who's our resources that can help us? Again, that goes into the agility part. So
I think we're over our 20-minute timeline, Jimmy. But
we are definitely. I was gonna interrupt, but that was just so good, Craig. Just to summarize: lead people, manage the process. VACA: vision, alignment, commitment, and accountability.
Yeah.
Bro, that's worth. Gosh, that's just so good. Drift happens. So vision is your magnet toward to your compass. Magnet to your compass. I wrote that down. Did I say it right?
Magnets to your compass. Yeah.
Magnets to your compass. That it brings you back. Drift happens. Yeah. So you got to manage the process, but lead the people.
Yeah.
I mean, so many great quotes here. Leadership is a behavior, not a title. This has just been an absolutely stellar call, guys. So Craig, I want to thank you. I'm really looking forward to, I took so many notes here. I'm looking forward to strategy, and strategy is next week. And if you have any questions while we're, going through this, please make a comment. I'll show it on the screen. And if you'd like any one-on-one coaching with Craig, he is offering a 1-hour strategy call. I'm probably calling that the wrong thing.
Yeah, no. So we're talking. So together in partnership with Momentum Builder and Gino and all you guys, like, we're gonna host a 1-hour complimentary workshop to help you architect your business, and I'll give you the framework. I'll give you all the tools to help you do that. So stay tuned for a date and time. And if any questions leading up to it, just reach out. Let me know. I'm always happy to help. I give complimentary huddles all the time. Let's just lead people and manage process and go win.
Nice.
All right, guys. Excellent call. This has been Next Gen Leadership, and we want to thank you. We'll see you guys next week.